I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
We will have been together for 10 years this January. And I think we still learn those things because as people, you grow and change. And sometimes things about each other change. And maybe one of us handles the situation different than we have in the past. And you just kind of have to go with it. And when you care about your partner or the person you're with, or even your friends or family when you're traveling, you just kind of learn to okay, I can handle this. We're going to go with it. Things change over time. So I feel we're always constantly learning about each other. And you're always with travel being tested in a situation you've never dealt with before. It happens all the time.
And those are today's guests, Gabi and Shanna, a Brooklyn-based lesbian travel couple who have been together for over a decade. They're the creators behind 27 Travels, which started as them just documenting their trips, Gabi as a photographer and Shanna as a videographer. And then it quickly became so much more because they eventually realized that there was barely any information out there for LGBTQ travelers and decided to do their part to fill the need. And what I love about this conversation is that we're not just talking about where to travel, but we're talking about how to travel together. And honestly, this applies to not just partners or couples, but anytime you're traveling with anyone in your life. And I believe, which I think is true, is that traveling as a couple is a completely different challenge from solo traveling. So we get into how travel became a part of their relationship early on, the moment they realized that they actually travel well together, which is not always a given, and the roles that they naturally fall into on the road, like who's the planner, who's the vibe coordinator, who books the flights, and who's holding it together when things go wrong. We also talk about the deeper stuff, like how to navigate the world as a queer couple and how travel can be a challenge and also help strengthen your relationship. So if you're queer or you're traveling with a partner or with anyone in your life, or if you've been on a trip that kind of tested your relationship, I think we all have probably, then this one is for you. So buckle up. Thanks for being here and welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friend.
You're listening to the Zero to Travel podcast, where we explore exciting travel-based work, lifestyle, and business opportunities, helping you to achieve your wildest travel dreams.
Hi, and welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, the show to help you travel the world on your terms. If you haven't heard my voice before, I'm Dianni Hall, a former full-time traveler who spent 7 years backpacking around the world and the host of the Wall She's Away podcast, where I talk about solo, female, and queer travel. I'm so excited to be a part of the Zero to Travel Host Collective, which is a rotating cast of guest hosts bringing you new destinations, fresh perspectives, and practical advice to help you travel the world on your terms. You can find out more about me at the While She's Away podcast, and don't forget to sign up for the free newsletter at zerototravel.com/newsletter for travel tips, trends, and money-saving advice. All right, let's dive in. As you heard on the top of the episode, today's guests are Gabi and Shanna. They're a lesbian travel couple based in Brooklyn and the creators behind 27 Travels, which is a platform dedicated to documenting their adventures while also creating more visibility and resources for LGBTQIA travelers. In this episode, we talk about how travel became such a core part of their relationship from early on until now as a married couple, and how they've built a shared identity through exploring the world together. Of course, we also get into what it actually means to travel well as a couple, and I'm using air quotes around travel well, and how their different personalities show up on the road, and the roles that they each naturally take on when they're navigating new places together. We also, of course, talk about conflict because yes, it does happen, and I don't think you can travel with someone ever without some conflict coming up, but correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, we talk about how they've learned to communicate, adapt, and grow through those moments instead of letting them ruin their trip, which I think can definitely be a challenging thing to do. Of course, we talk about the realities of traveling as a queer couple, from safety to visibility and things that you don't always consider when you're in it. And please be sure to stick around to the end of the interview. I do a super, super fun rapid fire Q&A with Gabi and Shanna, and I think you'll love it. And after the interview, I'll be sharing how my interview with Gabi and Shanna made me view my recent travels with my partner differently. All right, here's my conversation with Gabi and Shanna.
This is a Brooklyn-bound C local train. The next stop is 50th Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Zero Travel Podcast.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you. We were just chatting a little bit about how I feel like my mission here with being one of the new hosts on Zero to Travel is bringing more queer visibility. So I'm excited to have both of you and share your stories like individually and together. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here and chat more about travel.
Yay. So I did a little bit of stalking and I kind of binge watched some of your YouTube videos and things and learned the story of how y'all met, which I loved. I can't believe, Shanna, was your first Pride. That's so funny.
Right?
That you
Isn't
met
that so crazy? Like, how lucky did I get?
Honestly,
like, I feel like
the most lucky. It's like, what are the chances of that actually happening?
Like, she didn't tell me that for years, actually. Like, I feel like 3 years into your relationship, you were like, yeah, that was my first Pride. And I was like, what? I didn't know that.
Your Pride virginity and
Literally.
you met your wife and lost your Pride virginity all in the same time. Kind of insane.
I know.
I love that for you. And I was so intrigued by your story. I love, how New York ties into all of it and you guys have a really beautiful love story. But I also was interested in your travel experiences before y'all even met and your individual stories. So if you wanted to each get into what travel looked like before you began traveling together, I would love to hear that backstory.
Yeah. So for me, my best friend growing up lived in Sweden. So my first ever international trip was actually to visit her in Sweden. I think I was maybe 18 or 19 years old. And for me, that was the most life-changing experience because she had come to visit me in the US a bunch of times. And also some of her family also lives here. So for her coming to the US was not a big deal. But for me going overseas to Sweden as my first ever international trip was amazing. I think from that, I got the travel bug. And then for every few years, or at least once a year, we would try and see each other. So sometimes I would go to Sweden or she would come here, or sometimes we would just meet in a random destination. One time we met in Greece and Mykonos. We've also been to London, other places together. And I actually, unknown fact, started a travel blog way back then in 2012, 2013. It still exists today if you want to see it, but it's kind of compared to what we do now, it's kind of lame. But I just always really loved travel ever since that experience. So my travel bug really started when I went to go visit my best friend who is in Sweden.
I feel like there was such a time period, sorry, little tangent, but I feel like there was such a time period where you're I'm obsessed with travel, must start a travel blog. Because
I know, because I feel like social media wasn't really a thing back then. So the only thing to do was Tumblr or start a travel blog, really.
Actually, yeah, same, because I did the same exact thing. But Gabi, go ahead if you want to share.
Yeah, so my story is actually really different than Shanna's because I know that for her, that was her first ever trip and she was already 18. But for me, my dad is from an island called Curacao in the Caribbean. And I've always had family living there. My family still now today lives there. So I grew up always going back like every year to Curacao. So we were always traveling. Like it was like a yearly thing. We would travel and visit family and like stay with them. And like on top of that, like I have cousins like all over the world. Like I have cousins in the Netherlands. I have cousins in Spain. So like we would always like to see family, be like traveling to other places in the world to like be able to like be with them, you know? So for me, like I was kind of always traveling, especially with family. So I feel like that's kind of my background on why I love travel so much. That was like such a special thing for me. And like my parents got divorced when I was younger. And so like traveling to Curacao or traveling to visit family would be like even more important because it felt like a real like home to me versus like where I was like in New York. So I feel like it always was really special to me to be able to like travel and have those experiences.
Okay. So it kind of already was naturally integrated into your life and your experience, it sounds like. So then, like I said, y'all met, we're going to fast forward from like childhood. Y'all met when you were in both your early 20s. And when did travel begin to become a part of the conversation in your relationship? What did that look like at the beginning?
It was honestly a conversation we had on our first date. Like we were like on our first date and like part of like Shanna and my story is that like we met at Cubbyhole on Pride, but we just were like talking back and forth. Like we didn't really start talking until like 6 months from then. Like we just like had each other's info. Like we really had each other's Instagrams and like we didn't even start like DMing each other or really talking until like December of that year. She was traveling and visiting her friends and I was with my family in Curacao. And that's when we like really started texting each other. So we kind of like were already traveling when we started talking, which is part of why like travel was like a convo like on our first date.
Yeah, because then I was asking her about her trip. And before that, I had never heard of Curacao before. I feel like most people that we know anyway haven't heard of it before. It's an island in the Caribbean. It's right next to Aruba. Everyone in the US knows Aruba, but it's right next to Aruba for people who might not know where it is. So like I never heard of it before. So I was asking her, you know, that's so cool that you have family there. Like, you know, kind of like tell me about it. And then, yeah, like, so literally on our first date, we were having those travel conversations. And then obviously we were bringing up how we both love to travel. Like I said earlier, my best friend lives in Sweden, but she also has a best friend who lives in the Netherlands that is from Curacao originally. So we were talking about that and like kind of bonding over the fact that we have like long distance best friends that we have to travel to see and don't get to see that often. So it really was like a big part of our first date conversation.
Yeah, it felt like something we like bonded on. Like, oh, like, okay, same. Like
you get
like
it. You get it.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful when that happens. And obviously to find it, I think there's so much about travel dating, of course, but it's like finding your person when you're abroad. But to find them home in New York and they also love travel to the same extent you do, that's match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Beautiful. I love that. And so then you both knew that you loved travel. When did it actually become integrate into your relationship? Like that first trip y'all took together. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I would like we took like a little weekend trip to Philly. Like that was technically our first trip, but I feel like for us, we say our first like real trip together was to Arizona. It was that summer, so it was like we had started dating in January. So like that summer, we planned a trip to Arizona together, and we went to the Grand Canyon. We went to like Sedona, Flagstaff, like also Phoenix too. So we like did a bunch of different cities and like we rented a car and drove around. And I feel like that trip was amazing, but we also really got to understand each other's like travel styles. And we figured out that we have the exact same travel style, which I think is super important if you're traveling, you know, with friends or with your partner, because you have to be on the same page. Even if you don't have the same travel styles, you have to be on the same page. But luckily for us, we have the same travel styles, which is like we want to be out exploring. Like we're hardly ever at the hotel. Like the hotel is like we're sleeping at the hotel. That's it. We're out exploring. We want to see everything, do everything. So I feel like, you know, some people just like to like sit by the pool and relax. Like that's totally fine because we like to do that too sometimes. But when we're in a new place, we both get really excited to like get out and explore. And I feel like that trip really solidified that, okay, not only do we love travel separately, but we also can travel really well together.
Yeah. It's definitely such a big test, I think, too, of seeing like, okay, we both really love this thing, but can we do it well together? And that's not always the case. So having that moment where you're like, oh, okay, this works, this functions, I feel like it feels really reassuring and kind of builds confidence within the relationship. And it can feel really good. I don't know, Gabby, is there anything that comes to mind around that trip?
100%. That is so true. I feel like also like in this time period, people thought that we were like, I was kind of nervous about our first like big trip together because people like in our lives, like a lot of my friends, like family, people thought like, oh, that's crazy. Like you're going to go travel with this person. You've only been together for like 6 months. They felt like that was like really fast. But like, I'm really grateful that we did that because like it made me also realize right away, like, oh, like that basically like kicked everything off. We were like, oh my God, we traveled so well together. This was an amazing trip. And after that, like we were like full steam ahead. Like we want to travel together. Like there was no like pause on that. It was just like, it solidified. Oh, like what we have is working really well together. And like, we're having so much fun together. And like, I want to see more things with you. It just made it like so much more special. So, and I'm glad that it worked out that way. Of course, if it hadn't, and we hated traveling together, it would be a different story.
Yeah,
but like, I think it's just like solidified, like, okay, let's travel together.
Okay, so then on that same note, I'm so curious, what would be that first trip, you're taking it together, what would be like travel green flags or red flags that you'd be looking out for when going on a first trip with a partner or a potential partner or someone you're seeing?
I mean, I think, you know, figuring out the travel style, like seeing if your travel styles work, because if one of us wanted to like sit by the pool in Phoenix in our hotel and relax all day and the other one wanted to like get out and explore, you know, we'd have to like have conversations about that and like compromise on that. So I feel like for us, that was definitely a green flag. I also think that like we both pack carry-on only. And I think, was that your first time ever packing carry-on only? Yeah. So I think that like, I used to always do that because I have like a fear of my luggage getting lost, and because it's happened to me before. But so like I told Gabby it's just easier if you pack carry on only, especially if it's like, you know, we're only there for like a week or something, and then so she packed carry on only and was able to do it. So I think also another green flag, like you're able to pack carry on only. You don't need like 12 bags. So especially us, like we're like two women who don't really go to the gym. Like we can't carry those 50-pound bags. Even if we check a bag, like to this day, it's like one 50-pound bag that neither of us can carry.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it, honestly.
It's not worth it. So not worth it. It's embarrassing.
And I also think that just like when you travel with your friends or a partner, like there's so much that you can't control in travel. There's so many things that like go wrong or come up last minute. And I think it's like figuring out like how you deal with those situations, how you handle that, like how you handle it together. And like the way that we handled those kinds of things that happened on our first trip was definitely like green flag. Like I remember at the rental car place, the lady was telling us like, oh, you know, when you go to the Grand Canyon, the roads are like really messed up and bumpy. So you really should like upgrade to a better car. And we had never been there before. So like, oh, okay, like sure, we'll do that. And it was like an extra like few $100s. And then of course we're driving there. It's like the roads are smooth. There's no like uneven paths, whatever. She just like, you know, one-upped us, but whatever. Like like, you know,
we both thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Like we both thought that was hilarious. We were like, wow, she really got her commission today.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I think like reacting to things similarly or like handling things in a like a similar way really helps. Cause like I could have been super mad and you
that
could have
we spent extra money or that I listened to, you know, whatever. There's just like so many things like that happen in travel, and we both like handled it.
Yeah, no, real. So I know you said 6 months was into your relationship. 6 months was your first trip. My girlfriend and I did a trip to Barcelona for Pride. I think a month into meeting each other. Actually,
wow.
But I will say that's just very lesbian, you know,
so
like
lesbian.
that's so lesbian.
It's very queer, very lesbian of me.
So sapphic to do something like that.
Truly. And my friends were like, you're doing what? Like, and I was like, is this insane? They were like, I mean, kind of, but yeah, go have fun. Like I was planning to go anyway, and I was telling her about it, and she's like, I'll come. And I'm like, okay, great. But it was great because we had an amazing time, first of all. Incredible experience celebrating Pride in Barcelona together. But we got to see, like you're saying, what the other person is like under pressure. I speak Spanish, she doesn't. So like being the one kind of carrying the communication sometimes. I have a little bit more social anxiety. She's a lot more willing to like ask the question if it needs to be asked. Handling just what do we want to do, like realizing that we had a lot of similarities, but also it was a great opportunity to learn so much about the other person as well, of like, this is how she functioned under pressure, this is how she communicates, this is how she is when she's stressed and overwhelmed and like has anxiety and X, Y, and Z. So it can be such a good indicator. I wouldn't always recommend doing that a month after meeting someone, but
But like it's
When
kind
it
of nice
works,
that you did.
it works.
Yeah. And like I totally agree too about like the social anxiety stuff. Like I think sometimes like if like as partners, you kind of like pick up what the other one doesn't want to do, like without even intentionally noticing it and it just like works. Like I know like I'm more like I get more like social anxiety. I just get like done with certain things. And like in those moments, Shanna will like step in and like go order at the counter when like I don't want to and like things like that, like little things. Like it really makes a difference in a relationship. And especially like when you're traveling with someone, knowing when they're kind of like done.
Yes.
Like when it's time to like call it in is important.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop. Now, back to the show.
I feel like those sound like things that y'all have learned about each other over time, because obviously if you go check out your Instagram or YouTube or anything, y'all have done so much travel together over the years. You've been together for 10 years at this point, so like makes sense. But was it always that way when you first started traveling together, or did it kind of happen naturally, or was like what's the learning curve of figuring out those certain aspects of traveling together?
Yeah, I think earlier on we, took less trips, for example, like, maybe it would be like one trip a year or 2 trips a year. Obviously now we, are traveling basically every 2 weeks, which is crazy. But I think the more that you do something, and especially because we both love traveling together so much, it was just like the more that we did it, the more that we loved it, the more that we learned about each other. And we learned how to deal with, like certain things, like, how to deal with the other one when things go wrong, how to, step in and, order something or talk to a person or ask the questions and figure things out. But I think for us, it was just more like over time, we realized how to navigate those situations.
Yeah. Also, I think that we've been together. We're going to we will have been together for 10 years this January. And I think we still learn those things, because as people, you grow and change. And sometimes things about each other change. And maybe one of us handles the situation different than we have in the past. And you just kind of have to go with it. And when you care about your partner or the person you're with, or even your friends or family when you're traveling, you just kind of learn to okay, I can handle this. We're going to go with it. And things change over time. So I feel like we're always constantly learning about each other, and you're always with travel being tested in a situation you've never dealt with before. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay. On that note then, is there a trip that sticks out to you that really tested things for you and was maybe different or more challenging than usual, and you were having to figure things out, and did it reveal anything for you? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
I mean, honestly, I'm sure there's so many examples of this, but I'll say anytime that we have gotten stranded has tested us mentally, emotionally.
Real.
You're just drained, tired, exhausted, spending money you don't want to spend, dealing with really stressful situations. And I think that's when you're going to be really tested, because even us, it's hard to remain calm when you're dealing with something you've never dealt with before. And you'll also be dealing with people maybe at the airport who are also not in the best mood about the situation. And that really it's a real stressor, So even in those situations, I think we always are learning how to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like your communication looks different at home versus when you're traveling, or does one inform the other at all? Or just curious if, I don't know, your relationship or life or communication feels different when you're home versus traveling.
I feel for us, no. I think we're very we're typical New Yorkers. We say it how it is. We're upfront. That's how we are in life. No matter what, with each other, with our friends, with our family. So I think that's just how we are all the time. But I feel like I can understand why it might change for some other people, but for us, like we just say it how it is, no matter the situation. You know, we're very direct, and both of us are. Gabby's a little bit nicer about how she says it than me, but
there's always one who is. There's always one who is.
Yeah. But then like I also have the ability to like blow up if there's too much stress, and you don't. Like she's like Shanna's more like calm under pressure, and I'm not calm at all under pressure.
No, you're not calm. You're freaking out.
So I will freak out. And so like, you know, I don't know, those things.
Yeah, like on our last trip, which we came back like a week ago, we had a really quick transfer at the airport. It was like an hour transfer. And obviously when you travel international back to the US, you have to like go through security and customs again. So like I was like, well, we're either going to make it or we're not. And Gabby's like, we have to run. And I was like, it's either we make it or we don't. Like that's just how it is.
Those are the options. What happens, happens.
I thought running was a good third option.
Did it work? Did you make it?
It worked actually. Yeah. Like there was, I guess because like our first flight was like late. They had a lot of people at the airport because it was the same airline, and we were transferring. It was TAP Air Portugal. And we were transferring in Lisbon, so it's like their home like airport. So they had a lot of like their staff like being like, "Who's going to JFK? Go this way, go this way." So that was like really helpful. But like we've been in other situations where we were like literally running out of breath like through the airport to like make the flight. But this one wasn't as bad, but we've had bad ones before. So she was rightfully nervous.
Stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was stressed like an hour before our plane even landed. I was like,
I mean, because if you immediately right off the bat know you have an hour, like that is stressful automatically before you're even doing the hustle and bustle.
It's like an hour, and it was like an hour before it took off. Like they were boarding when our plane landed. So we were like,
crazy.
But we did it.
We did it.
Crazy. I want to ask, I have like two questions, but I want to ask this one first. How travel has shaped your relationship identity overall? I mean, you share this platform together. You're kind of, you're traveling together constantly. You live together. How has it informed your relationship overall, or how has travel impacted your relationship as a whole?
I mean, I think like in so many ways, like I think like we're really lucky doing what we do to be able to like have all of these crazy and incredible experiences together. Like I feel really privileged that like we're able to do those things. And like sometimes I think back to a memory that we've had together and I'm like, oh, like that is crazy. Like probably other people don't like say that to their partner. Like, oh, remember when we were on safari in South Africa? Like people just don't say those things. I think it's like amazing that we've been able to experience those things. And I think like travel, like every place you go like changes you a little bit. Like you learn more, you like embrace more of the world. You learn different things about different cultures and places. And you even get a better understanding of like history and politics and whatever is going on. And I think like that's something that like we're able to experience together. And like that's always going to like shape and change your relationship like every trip.
Yeah. And I also feel like with like travel specifically, and also with like us being content creators and, filming all of our trips and, we're working on some of our trips. Like, I feel like we've had to learn, certain boundaries because a lot of our travel is work. Whereas for most people, I think their travel is like a vacation or like relaxation, where for us, it's like so rare that we ever get that, whether or not it's because of our own doing, because we want to film and take pictures and videos because we genuinely love doing that, or because, we're getting paid to do some of that work. So I think it's taken us a while, and it's still things that we're learning today, is like how to navigate travel and work and balance and, having fun and it being a vacation also while being a couple. I think all of that together is really, really difficult to make work. But I think for us, we have the right like personalities to make it work. I don't know if it works for everyone, because there are a lot of travel couples that, were around when we started doing this almost 10 years ago that are no longer together. So we always wonder if it's like, a mix of all of those things.
I think it's a lot to navigate. There's a lot of like balance when it comes to those things. And I mean, like, even we were having a conversation like the other day, okay, like next year going into like 2026, like let's try and have like one more trip that is just leisure, like just because we want to, like whether we film it or not, that's fine. But like, just because like we want to go on a trip together somewhere we really want to go to, like, just like more things like that. Like you're always trying to like be like, okay, it's balanced. Like, did we film too much on that last trip? Do we need some more like time for us to, like, like, should we go on a like romantic date? Like you're always thinking of those things because you're also like prioritizing your relationship.
Yeah. And I think how to make it last is by having those conversations, is by talking about, okay, what can we do differently? What do we want to do differently? What do we need to do differently for this to continue to work and function in the way that we want it to and need it to?
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of like ignoring the elephant in the room or kind of brushing it under the rug or like not talking about that thing, which I guess helps that you both said you're very direct. So you're gonna talk about the thing. But you kind of have to in order to make it work. And I think that's a good goal too of what you said of just, okay, we want to take a more intentional trip that's just romantic, next year or something like that.
Definitely.
Wow. How would you say you do navigate it? I know you said like you have similar personalities and things like that, and you're still learning, but what are some of the things you've learned in how to navigate it?
Yeah, I think for us, a lot of it like stems from the working portion while we're also like on a trip. Because I think if we were just traveling together, not filming or anything, I feel like we would probably have no issues. But I think we're two different people with two different creative visions. And I feel like, maybe I want the photo done this way and Gabby wants the photo done this way. Or maybe we're in a really crowded place and we're trying to like film a video or take a photo and it becomes really stressful. But I think what we've learned is like, it's okay in those situations to react however you're going to react. And then if, maybe it hurts some, like one of our feelings or whatever, just like try and have a conversation about it later versus like in the moment, trying to hash it out, which is what we as very direct New Yorkers love to do. And, but I think when we're traveling and working and trying to enjoy our trip, if there's ever a disagreement on something, which is almost always about our content, I think we've learned to like trying to be understanding of the other person, like where they're coming from. And if your feelings are hurt by something that one of us did or the other one did, just like have a conversation about it afterwards when you're more calm.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I also think over the years we've learned like little tips and tricks, like waiting to talk about it sometimes is helpful. Like also like, like when it comes to content, like we kind of used to argue over like not wanting to do each other. Like if one of us had an idea and the other didn't, sometimes we'd argue over like whose idea we should do. Now we're both like, okay, we're going to do both ideas and like, we'll use what we use. Who cares? Like it's better to take it and then we're both happy than to like move on and like you wish that you'd gotten something you didn't. Like, we also know when something is not worth taking, when it's not going to work. We
unusable
usually,
footage, that's what we call it. Unusable footage.
Unusable footage. Like you're taking something for no reason. You don't need it. Like we've kind of learned to be better about that. Not like take things we don't need, not like overly shoot. Like most of the time at night, we're more or less off because like for us, we don't take a lot of stuff at night. So we've kind of learned that's like a good balance. Like we don't just like, when it's dark out, we're not like outside trying to film everything. We're like, that's for tomorrow.
And I feel like that comes with time. Honestly, it sounds like this is just stuff you've learned over the time of traveling together.
100%. Yeah. Like
100%.
Like the first few years of us doing it, obviously there wasn't as many platforms back when we first started. So we were more focused on the photos at the beginning of our relationship and travels and career together. But now it's like we have to do so much more. So you think in your head you have to film more. But I think that's kind of where we started to realize, okay, maybe we're taking too much. Maybe we're not enjoying ourselves as much on these trips because I think we are so lucky that we get to travel for work and we get to see these amazing places and have these amazing experiences. So I don't want that to like ever, take away from anything.
But
like
still
that
work.
we're complaining about work or whatever. But like it no matter what, like we always want to be grateful that we're doing this and we're having these experiences and we're seeing these beautiful places. And we genuinely love taking pictures and videos on our trips because before we even met, we were already doing that. Like I worked at a media company in New York City doing video and video editing, and Gabby was a photographer. So like for us, this is actually like the combination of all of our passions in life together, and we get to like live that life and do it. Like that is so epic and amazing. But there are still things that we have to, work on and figure out along the way.
100%. Like, like we wound up being able to do something that like encompasses everything that we love to do. Like also the things we love, our relationship, each other, travel, video, photography, like it all like melded into one thing, which is what we're doing now, which is why we're so passionate about it. I mean, like to both of us, it's so important to be able to like do this and be representation and like show people they can travel and be happy and experience all these amazing places. And I feel like sometimes we're also like, okay, we also do have to have like fun, you know, like sometimes even as a couple, we want to do different things. Like maybe Shanna wants to like jump off a cliff. Meanwhile, I want to do like a candle making class. So we just are like, okay, I guess we'll do both.
Okay. Is that usually the middle ground? Well, I guess we'll do both. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, if we have time to do both. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Or sometimes I know like on our last trip, we did like kayaking, which is something I don't really love doing. And like, it's a little stressful for me. I get like, oh my God, like I'm not really good at this. Like it stresses me out. So like, I know on the trip we have coming up, like we're going to go to like get a facial or something because that's more like my speed. So you kind of like, you balance it, you learn.
I feel like I'm getting an understanding of like who's who in the relationship in terms of like travel styles. Like Shanna, it sounds like you're more adventurous, sporty travel vibes a little bit, right?
I wouldn't say like more than Gabi for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like the most extreme traveler or the most, you know, like active, like, you know, kind of traveler, but definitely more than Gabi. And like, I think I'm also a little bit more like daring. Like I would, you know, be more willing to try something where Gabi gets like a little scared and like, yeah, like, you know, there's been a few things over the last few years that I've done by myself because Gabi didn't want to do it. But I was like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, having said that, like I have like jumped over a waterfall and like I've done everything. Like literally at this point, I'm like, I've done so many things. I don't even think we can call me the less daring because other people would be like, wait, but you did like all these crazy things.
Like zip line and
But I like it less than you. Like I need a little balance. Like I'd like to do like a fun, like, you know, like painting class. Like,
I don't mind that stuff either, but it's just my preference is a little bit more adventurous, I guess. Yeah.
I see the balance. I love how Gabby's like, wait, don't put some respect on my name. I do all the things.
I can prove it. I have so much proof. If someone's like, oh, Gabi, you're not adventurous, I'd be like, give me 10 minutes. I'll be sending you a long form video of my adventures.
Wait, I love that so much. And okay, so I know we're talking a lot about how travel has influenced your relationship and how, you know, work gets involved and finding the balance between all those things. But I would love to hear, I think the hopeless romantic in me would love to hear if there's a moment or like a trip specifically or a moment on a trip that y'all felt the most connected or like loved each other the most, or was the most meaningful between the two of you outside of all, you know, the work and business aspects that come with it.
I feel like for me, I mean, we visit Curacao every year, which is the island that Gabi's dad is from, or her family's from. And that to me always feels like the least work amount of trip because it feels like going home, you know, like her family's there. We know all the restaurants, all the shops. Like it just, to me, makes me feel like I'm a part of her family. Like her family there is like hundreds of people. I'm not kidding. Like,
oh, wow.
The names I have to memorize going to these family events is crazy.
Oh my God.
But to me, it like I grew up in a really small family. So for me, I always feel really connected to Gabi and her family whenever we visit Curacao. There's her family, even though they're really big, the island is still small. So it feels like really homey. You know, we run into people in the supermarket that we know that are family, you know, like things like that. Like I always love going to Curacao. It's also one of the most beautiful places in the world. And we've been to like 40 plus countries together. So the water there, we have never been anywhere in the world with water as blue as Curacao. I'm putting that.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down.
If you go, just ask us for advice. You're going to get like 200 recommendations. You're going to be like, are you kidding?
Amazing. Sold.
Yeah. So I think for me, anytime we go to Curacao, I always feel like, you know, more connected and like, you know, that I'm a part of your family as not just in our relationship, but like a part of your like whole family, I guess. Really cute.
Yeah, that also is like a relaxation trip for us because we just kind of are like,
we know what we like, what we do.
We're going to the beach every day. That's what we're doing, you know? But I mean, I feel like I always have those moments with you on trips, like almost all the time. Like on every trip, I could think of like a moment like that where it was just like about us and it was really special. Like I feel like a few months ago we were in Croatia and that one really stands out to me because we were just like walking all over the city, holding hands, and it was really beautiful. And we were like petting all of the like street cats and like finding cute little coffee spots. And like I just remember like we were like in Dubrovnik and like the sun was setting and like it was really beautiful by the water and we were like holding hands and like just like those little moments. It's like always to me like the little moments that make me feel like the most connected to you where I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky. Like Like, I love this life, you know?
Oh, I love that. Okay. That makes me so happy. Queer joy. I love it. I love it.
We need it. More queer joy.
Honestly, I love it. That makes me so happy to hear. And it is true. It is always those like really small moments. And you're in a completely different country and you could be doing like anything, but just walking around holding hands, looking at a sunset. You're like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what life's all about.
That's what life's all about.
All I wanted.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment.
We all need advice, but it's not always clear who to ask, even in 2026. Enter How To, the long-standing advice show and Ambie Award-nominated Best Personal Growth podcast that's back with new episodes and a new host. And that host, here's the reveal, it's me, Mike Pesca. Each week, I tackle a listener question ranging from travel to finance to relationships and beyond with help from world-class experts who actually know what they're talking about. Think of it as eavesdropping on someone else's therapy session without the copay or awkward silence. No question is too big or too specific. Some topics: how to protect the elderly from scammers, how to take psychedelics therapeutically, and of course, how to emigrate to the Netherlands as a throuple. You've got questions, we'll find the answers. So follow How To with Mike Pesca on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, back to the show.
We've talked about a lot of y'all's experience, and you do have a lot of experience. Like you said, 10 years together, so much travel experience under your belt together as a couple. So if you were talking to another queer couple who's looking to start traveling together, first trip, any kind of advice or anything you'd want them to hear from you on just communication or anything that you think would be helpful for navigating that together for the first time?
I mean, I would say do it. I feel like do it and see how it is and like have those experiences and always like listen to each other, because I think that like at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Like that's what people do. Sometimes you like stop listening to the other person. You just start like doing what you want to do. And I mean, even I'm guilty of that, but like, I think just listen to your partner. I think like, you know, like be open to doing things they want to do. And even if you don't like something, be interested in the things that they're interested in, because like all you have to have is like interest for another person's interest. Like, and like, then you can like just enjoy that together. And it's so much more special. Like, you know, like I don't have to love everything that Shanna loves. Like I don't love Taylor Swift, but did I go to a few concerts with her for Taylor Swift?
Yeah, you did.
Like, did you go to Did I go to Sweden and do that? Yeah, I did. You know, like, I mean, like it doesn't have to be like my favorite thing in the world, but like, I think just like enjoying something that the person you're traveling with, like whether it's your partner or your friend or your family wants to do. Like I get joy from like seeing you really enjoy something. And I think like just listen to your partner, like communicate and like be open to things. And that's like, in my opinion, the most important thing.
Yeah, that's really good. Anything you want to share, Shanna?
I'm trying to think. I feel like Gabby kind of said, yeah, I was going to say my advice would kind of be kind of similar to what Gabby said, but just like kind of like compromise. Like if there's something that you really want to do, but your partner maybe doesn't want to do it, like maybe, you know, you do that and then you do something that they want to do. Because I feel like that is like, I think what kind of along the same lines of as what Gabby was saying is that like, I think, you know, when you're traveling or doing anything with your partner, you kind of just want to have that experience with them. I think that's what's so great about us traveling together is we get to have these experiences together and experience everything together on a trip, which is really rare. A lot of times, like, you know, when people travel for other reasons, like they're not always traveling with their partner. We always get to travel together. So I think the most important thing is to like remember like to have these experiences together and make memories together. And the best way to do that is, you know, everyone can be happy and doing the things that they want to do. And you'll just have to, you know, go to a candle making class once in a while. And it'll be great.
Have fun.
I always have fun doing it. It's just not like the number one thing on my list, but I always have fun.
Just do it, because like in reality, you don't regret the things that you go and do. It's like the things you miss out on that you sometimes regret. And I think like just like have no like do it all. Have no regrets. This is like also advice not just for travel, but for any relationship. Like just do it.
No, that was as soon as you said that initially when I asked the question of just sometimes it just makes your partner happy. And I think it's remembering in those like high stress situations when you are traveling and stuff, like it's not me versus you, it's us wanting to have the best trip together. So if that's me having to, like, we keep talking about the candle making class, so we can come back to it. If it's me having to do it and that's not top of my list, like I'm willing to do that, one, because I love you and I want us to have a beautiful trip together. Like that's the whole point of this. I'm not gonna, and if someone's not willing to do that, that might be a red flag, a travel red flag, or just 100%. A relationship 100%. Red flag, honestly.
100%. That would be a travel red flag. Like not willing to compromise. Yeah. That's an issue.
Yeah. I also think leaning into your strengths, just to add to that list a little bit, leaning into your strengths. Like if someone's really good at finding unique things to do versus someone's really good at booking, like finding the flight deals or the best hotel or Airbnb to stay at, like allowing each other to lean into each other's strengths. And when it comes to like trip planning specifically together, because I think we're all good at different things and figuring out, or even knowing like how planned out does one partner want a trip to be versus the other. Like, do you want time to just wander around this new city, or do you want to have like every hour planned out of what you're going to be doing, and finding the balance, you know, like those are real things too that come up.
So true. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. I think we learned the balance of all of that just by, traveling together. And then over the years you learn, okay, this is what works for us. This is what doesn't. Like we like kind of like, when in terms of like things being planned out, we like to plan it out like a little bit, like have like a rough idea, but not put anything too set in stone, because like we were saying earlier, things always happen to go wrong in travel. The weather doesn't cooperate. So a ticket that you booked is messed up or whatever. And then if you plan everything out, then your whole itinerary is like gone.
Ruined.
So I think we like to have like a rough idea. And then if things don't work out, you can always go back. That's what we say. Like my number one thing we always tell people is like, we went to Rome, or we went to Italy, but our first stop was Rome. And like on the last day of the trip, we also went back to Rome because we were like flying out of Rome. And every day we were in Rome, the Trevi Fountain was empty. Because they were like, apparently they clean it like every so often. And to do that, they like empty all the water out or something. Yeah. So every day we were in Rome, the Trevi Fountain was empty. So we're like, okay, we never saw the Trevi Fountain like for real. So we have to go back now and see the Trevi Fountain. And like, it's just little things like that. Like if it doesn't work out, you can always go back.
Yeah. True.
And then it gives you a reason to go back too. It's like, oh, like, maybe we would have been like, oh, we've been to Rome already. We have no reason to go back. But now we're like, no, we got to go. We got to see Trevi Fountain. We got to have our Hilary Duff, like Liz McGuire moment.
Yeah.
100%.
Have to. And yeah, I think that happens every time too. We're somewhere where like there's 1,000,001 things that I would love to do. And we have 7 days. So what are we actually going to do with this
What's
time?
Realistically, what are we getting to here?
Yeah. Like, and if you love a city, sometimes missing one thing is nice because you have an excuse to like wind up back there in life. It's not just like book closed, chapter over. It's like, okay, like maybe I'll be back here. And like, it's nice to like think of life like that, I think.
Yeah. No, I like that. I'm going to keep that in mind and tell my partner, be like, it's okay. Now we have a reason. We're planning a trip right now to Thailand and Vietnam. So
Thailand's amazing.
I'm so excited. It'll be her first time. So I'm so excited. Okay. And so I think there's so much that she wants to do, and we have 2 weeks. And so that's going to be my motto of like, next time when we come back.
We're going to be to Thailand for sure.
When we come back, and we will come back.
Yeah. You're scouting it out so you know when you go back where you're going to go back again and like what you missed, right? I mean,
yes. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I think we can, when you're planning a trip and like you are beginning to travel together, you want it to be romantic and you want to do all the things, and taking the pressure off of yourself of like, this doesn't have to be the perfect trip. Like there are going to be things that come up. I think the expectation sometimes that you create for it, like releasing that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially like in a relationship, some trips you're thinking like, oh my God, this is going to be like perfect. This is going to be so romantic. And then if something goes wrong, it can be like a real letdown, and you feel like you're trying to like gain that back, but it like doesn't have to be that way. It's like if overall your trip was fun and you had a good time and it's memorable, I think that that's all that really matters. Like looking back on where you were.
Exactly. Oh, thank you. So good. Okay. I do have a fun little game for us to get into, but before I'm really excited, but before we get into this like rapid fire game, and I intentionally kind of did this, and before we got on to, we talked a little bit about how I want to normalize just queer travel in general. And so I could have asked the questions of, what's it like traveling as a lesbian couple, X, Y, and Z, but kind of just wanted to hear about your relationship experience, outside of being queer, because it is inherently queer. But there is one thing that I wanted to ask of just, what do you think is in an invisible labor of travel, of queer travel, that you think straight people don't realize? And just something that, that you have to think about that most other straight couples or hetero couples aren't thinking about. And I think answering that does normalize it, where it's like for example, I told you I did the interview with Chase, and we were talking about trans travel and like traveling as a trans person. And there were things that they were talking about that I hadn't realized that they had to deal with. And so bringing up those nuances, those things that we're experiencing as queer people that straight people don't always realize, I think allows a space for them to like be more understanding of other people's experiences. So a long-winded way of asking that question.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for us, there's probably so many things we could say to this. I'll say one, and then you could probably say something else that happens. But for us, it's like, I always notice it whenever we get in like a taxi or a ride share, Uber or whatever, in like a new place. And like most of the drivers are so friendly, and they're probably like so excited you're like in their destination. And they always ask us like either how we know each other, or they like assume that we're like sisters or friends. And then it makes us like feel really awkward to be like, okay, like either we just like let it go and say nothing, but then they can kind of continue with that thought in their conversation. So then they're like, their whole rest of the conversation, they're like assuming we're sisters or assuming we're friends or whatever. Or we can try and correct them and say, no, we're married, we're a couple, whatever. But then we also risk them having a weird reaction to that. And then we're like in the car with them, not at our destination. So it's kind of like also like a safety issue too. So I feel like that's just like one of the ways where like whenever we're in a taxi, we know the person's being friendly. And like we have had really good experiences where we did, they assumed something, we corrected them, and then like it actually ended up like being like really good and like having a really good conversation and experience. But it's always that thought in the back of our head, like, what do we do in this situation? And it happens almost every single time we're in a new place. Like even in the US, we're in a taxi going, we're in Arizona, we're in a taxi going somewhere. And like, we're like, even in this situation, like, do we correct them and say we're a couple? Do we like, what do we do? And I feel like it happens to us all the time. We have to always think about that.
Yeah. I think there's so many things like that, like traveling as a queer couple or even a queer person, like you think all the time about all the things that like could go wrong, like we think about like, is this other country safe to travel to? We look at the laws, we make sure we're protected. We like think about things like when we get ourselves in a situation where someone is inherently asking us to come out, and then you have to decide like, oh, are we coming out to this person? Am I staying in the closet? We have the privilege of sometimes like looking like we're not queer, but then sometimes other people pick up on it. So you never know like how it's going to go and like how someone is going to respond to you when you actually say that you're a queer person, or when they figure it out on their own, whatever it is. I think that like there's just like so many little things that people don't think about. If like, say they're traveling as like a cis het couple, you might not be thinking about some of the things that like queer people deal with on a daily basis. Like we always have issues with like when we go to a hotel, them being really confused and trying to ask us questions about like, oh, are you sure you don't want 2 beds? Like, or like getting in the room and like, oops, they gave us 2 beds. Like these things happen to us all the time. And like at this point, we're just like, we kind of brush it off and we're like, okay, whatever, that bed is for our luggage.
Yeah.
That other bed is for us, like whatever. So, I mean, I just think there are so many like nuanced things that happen constantly when you travel. Like if we go to a bar and someone hits on one of us, then like we have to say like, oh, like we're actually a married couple. Like we get put in those situations. And I think like you always learn how to handle those, and also handle those differently depending on how safe you feel in the place where you are traveling.
Yeah. I think that's so fair. It's the constant coming out. Honestly, whether it's in the Uber, whether it's at the hotel, and it's just having to do that over and over and over again, and deciding when and where you feel most comfortable doing, just, sharing that or not sharing that.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And like, and I think that really like whether or not you disclose that is like really different for every person, for every situation. Like there are some situations where, we chose not to for whatever, like, our reasoning was, but then there were other ones where we chose to do it because we felt safe. But I think that really just depends on your situation. So and there's so many moments too. It's like when we're checking in for an activity, when we're like, you know, going on a tour bus, whatever. It's like there's so many instances in travel where you rightfully so, you're a new person. People are just genuinely curious. Like, I don't blame them most of the time, but it's just something that we have to be like, okay, what are we going to say? What are we going to do?
100%. And like sometimes we get great responses when we do like correct someone, but like also sometimes you get not very good responses where you feel really awkward or are made to feel like less than or other. And like that's not like helpful to like, let's say, having a good trip if that's what you're trying to do. So I think like at the end of the day, like what it really is safety. Like when you go somewhere, you want to feel safe, you want to feel welcomed, and you get that feeling as a queer person when you go to like a city. Like, you know, you're like, oh, I feel really welcomed here. Like I see the little like flags in the windows and I can tell that people are really cool and friendly and whatever. And then you have the opposite situation sometimes where you're like, I don't feel really comfortable like being myself at this pool at this hotel with like everybody and their 12 kids. Like it's not really a comfortable situation. So I'm just not going to do it. You know?
No, and maybe that's part of, I know I had earlier asked about advice for queer couples traveling together the first time. Maybe that's part of the discussion as well of what in these scenarios, like, do you want me to answer? Do you want to answer? Do you feel more comfortable if we say we're not? Do you feel more comfortable if we say that we are together? Like, what is it that you're, how you're wanting to handle these situations? Can be a good conversation to have
definitely
beforehand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the many things that we have to consider as queer travelers. But thank you so much for answering that.
Of course.
Okay. So we've all seen the social media trend where you have a couple and you're answering questions and you're saying, you know, this partner does this partner does that. I think they're really fun and cute. So I put together a little travel related rapid fire for y'all.
Okay, love it.
Okay. So the first one, who overpacks every single time?
You.
I think me, yeah. I wouldn't say every single time, but because we travel carry-on only, I will say I overpack more than Gabi does. I don't even know why.
Shanna overpacks because she really cares about her outfit, like maybe more than I care about my outfit. So you need to like look cool. You know, you're like, you got like multiple shoe options. You got like a few jackets. Like she's got vibes. She's got looks.
All in a carry-on?
Looks though. Yeah, we've gotten so good.
We're so good at our carry-ons. Like it's crazy. Like
I
we
think
could
you
just
have
teach
more
people
looks,
how to do that.
though. I think I just have more stuff for whatever reason. I don't know why.
You're more particular.
Yeah, maybe I'm more particular.
Okay, I love this. I'm actually really glad I'm asking these. This is great. Okay, who's most likely to get you both lost?
Gabi, 100%.
It's definitely me.
Gabi, I don't let her map anywhere. I'm like, because even in New York City where she grew up, she will get us go the wrong way.
Incredible.
It's like sometimes you have to go to the left to know that you were actually meant to go to the right. Like I wind up in the same place.
Like, you know, on Google Maps, you're like following the dots. She's just like this.
I like move my phone like this. I'm like, oh wait, I have to turn the phone around.
Okay, wait, I do the same thing. And sometimes it's just wrong. Like sometimes.
No, I will say in New York, sometimes when you get out of the subway, I think it like doesn't register right away. And it's like wrong.
It's wrong.
It doesn't. Thank you. Gabi, I feel you. I feel you on this one.
I mean, like, I can't help it.
I totally feel you on that one. Okay. Who's the one that would make you late to the airport?
We would never be late to the airport, neither of us. We're both so early.
Okay.
Like we make each other earlier because we're both people who are early, so we will never be late for the airport ever. Knock on wood that like doesn't happen, but we'll never be late ever.
If we're late to anything, like something is like horribly wrong. Like,
yeah,
call the police.
Like we've been kidnapped.
If we're late
to anything, we've been kidnapped.
Wow.
Because, like, even to get on this call, we were on like before you sent the email, and then we were like, okay, we logged back out, you know, and then we logged back in because we were that early. We're always so early. Like all of our friends know if they set a time, like we're knocking on the door like 15 minutes early or lingering outside waiting for like the time to like knock on their door. You know?
I'm dead. Oh my God. Y'all are a match made in heaven because
we're bad.
I showed up obviously late today. So it's like I am late for everything. And so I'm the person to make us late to the airport. No, that's hilarious. Oh my God, I love that. I'm learning so much about you two. Okay.
It's so bad. We'll be like walking around the block like multiple times.
Like waiting for just like appropriate early time.
We make each other worse. It's like if 2 late people would be later, 2 early people would be even earlier.
That's a beautiful. I've never met a couple like y'all before. It's beautiful. I love it. Who's more likely to nap on public transportation?
Probably me. Although I don't think
you.
I feel like I like can fall asleep anywhere, but when I'm in like travel mode, I'm like on it. So I probably wouldn't do that while we're traveling unless I like knew for sure like where we were. Like maybe we're getting off at the last stop. I'm like, we can't mess it up. Then maybe I would like take a nap. But yeah, I would say probably me, but depends.
Yeah, you're just more likely to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And like during the daytime hours, like I will not be falling asleep. Like, so I'm going to be awake. So you're more likely.
No, I fall asleep and I'm like, baby, just wake me up when we get there, please. Thank you.
You know, you can trust when someone wakes you up at the right stop. You're like,
so true.
Trust, truly. Who's the planner? Who's more the planner and who's the more with the go with the flow?
I'm the planner and Gabby's like straight vibes. Straight up vibes.
Yeah, like my friend and I, like when we all go on trips together, we say that like the friend and I are like, we're like the vibe consultants.
Curator.
You know, like,
that's
we're
what
the
you say.
vibe curators.
Vibe curator.
Like any place we pick is going to be really cool, but like I'm also not doing like the massive organizing. Like I'm organized in a way, but not the way you are. You're very organized.
Yeah. There's always one who's like a spreadsheeter and then there's the other who's like, I'll look at that the day before we leave.
Or she doesn't even look at it. She's just following along what I say. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like looking on the plane. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
I love it. Okay. Who's more dramatic when things go wrong on a trip?
Gabby's definitely
way
more dramatic. Yeah, Gabby's definitely way more dramatic. Because like we said earlier, I'm like pretty calm under pressure and like I'll figure it out, you know, don't worry, like it is what it is. And Gabby's like, why do I get so upset?
Oh my God, I'm so much more dramatic than Shanna. Like in general, I think I'm much more dramatic when things happen. I'm like, oh my God.
You don't give me that vibe, Gabby, but okay.
I feel like she's very bubbly and has a lot of energy. And if you just think when things go wrong, it's like that same energy. It's just like stress energy instead of like, yay, everything's like kitties.
But like also, I'm more dramatic when things are amazing too. Because I'll be the one that's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, you know, like it's just like that kind of energy, like in general.
Real. Who's the bigger foodie?
I don't know. I would say we're probably equal in that. I would say maybe you because you introduced me to like more different kinds of food, I guess, or like your family does because my family like grew up eating like Olive Garden. Like that's literally it. But also I think like since, you know, I moving out, like then living in New York City, I've also tried other things, but I think there were some things I hadn't tried before meeting you. Yeah.
I feel like I'm the bigger foodie, but like you're up there with me, you know? And like we're also both vegans. So like when we travel, like we find like really cool vegan spots. And like, so I think that's like, I think also being vegan makes us both foodies because like when we travel, like we're looking for the really good food. We're looking for like the authentic local food that like is also vegan. And like we have to put more research into that. So like, in general, we're definitely good foodies. And like, we like having good food. Like, I don't want to have crappy food on a trip. Like, that makes me so sad. Like,
yeah. Real. I love that. Okay. Last one. And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. But one destination you disagree on. Like one of you loves it and the other doesn't.
We did disagree on something recently.
We did a video recently and we disagreed. Was it Italy? Because you were saying you really like, I think
there's a few, I guess.
Yeah, I think like, I really like Italy, but in terms of like traveling there as a queer person, I wouldn't say it's like one of my top favorite countries. I think you were saying you still liked it.
Which I agree with as a queer person, but like I do love Italy and would like, I think it's beautiful and the food is really good and I like the vibes. I mean, I think there's a few others like that. Like I think we were talking about like what was our favorite trip of the year. And I was saying, oh, I really loved like Thailand and Croatia. And then you said other places, I think. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like that wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
But it does happen though. Like sometimes our opinions on it, like I might like a place more than Shanna might, you know? But like, so I wouldn't say it's ever like so polar opposite. Like usually we mostly agree, but like, I do think Italy's a good example where I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I would go back tomorrow. And you're like, I'm good.
Well, I mean, I'm like, I would like to go back, but I'm not like dying to go back.
Okay.
I want to go.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I love seeing the different, because you guys are traveling together, so you're doing all of the things together, and still at the end of it coming away with like loved it, but could pass next time, would love to go somewhere else, and the other being like, oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. That happens. I mean, we're still
like that.
We're still different people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we have these experiences together, and we do have like, you know, we both grew up in New York. Like we have really similar upbringings, but we're still different people. And I think we take away different things from the trip and the experience.
I feel like it was California. I feel like you were like, oh my God, California was so beautiful and so amazing. And I was like, yeah, it was nice.
Well, it depends on what part of California.
You know, like
this is where we get down.
Like you're gonna have different opinions. Yeah. Like it's just like that sometimes. Yeah. Like you might like have loved it and been like, oh, this is like all the movies I've seen when I was a kid, and I might be like, yeah, it was cool, but like I like New York, so
yeah. You're like, so it's cute.
So, you know,
funny
like,
enough.
You're always as two people going to have different experiences, and like that's fine. Like, you know, our favorite trips are not always going to be the same, but like we were on both of them and we enjoyed both of them. It's just like, you know.
Funny enough, I'm going to California for the first time with my partner this for the holidays. We're leaving the 15th, and I'm excited. So we'll see how I feel about it. Her family's in Oakland, and we're gonna be doing. We'll be in San Francisco a little bit. We're gonna do
love San Francisco,
Yosemite potentially. So I'm excited.
Cool, yeah, that'll be really fun.
Really excited. I feel like my take on it is like the national parks are amazing. We didn't go to Yosemite, but we went to like other ones. Yeah, and I loved San Francisco. Like that is like a comparable to New York kind of city. It was really cool. So those were kind of some of my favorite things. So I think you'll have a really good trip.
So I do want to ask to two born and raised New Yorkers, and we always on the show too like to give destinations and like hidden gems and things. 2 or 3, it can be between the two of you or individually, hidden gems in New York, like places that you love, maybe aren't super well known. It could be anything, and I know that's really broad, but would love to hear your takes.
I have something. Yeah, I can think of something. I mean, one, I think so many people come to New York and never go to Brooklyn. Like, go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is amazing. Like, and like, I mean, Dumbo is not a hidden gem, but like, if you're coming to New York and only going to the city and missing Dumbo, you are missing out. Like, you can do that in a day, like from the city. Like, go experience a little bit of Brooklyn. Obviously, we live in Gowanus. I love our neighborhood. I love Park Slope. Like, go explore more of Brooklyn. That's definitely a hidden gem for the people that never want to get on the train and leave Manhattan. I also think I always have loved Chinatown since I was a kid, and I feel like some of the best food is over there. Like, go to Chinatown. We go to this amazing, like, all vegan dim sum place, and it's epic. Like, there's so much good food. And if you're going to do one of the views, I do not think the Empire State Building is the best one. I think go to Top of the Rock. Thank you.
Wow. You killed that, actually.
You did.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I think if you're coming in the summer, you have to go to Coney Island. I feel like it's very, like, you know, kitschy and unique and like, you know, a little bit like different, but I think it's really fun. Maybe don't go on 4th of July because it's like super crazy crowded there then. But I think just in general, like go to Coney Island, see it. That's also Brooklyn. Oh, I remember I was going to say my favorite park in New York City is actually in Queens. It's Astoria Park. I think this is what Gabi and I also sometimes disagree on because I don't think she says her favorite park. My favorite park in New York City is Astoria Park because you could see the bridge, you have views of the city. I used to live in Astoria, and I used to live near the park, so really familiar with that area. But I really love that park. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Queens. Some people sleep on Brooklyn, like Gabi was saying, but I think no one goes to Queens.
You also go to Queens.
Go to Queens. Queens is so big, and there's so much to do, so much fun stuff there. Yeah, that's my tip. Astoria Park. Or Astoria in general, and Coney Island.
Thank you. I actually haven't been to Astoria Park, and I live here, so I'm going to take note of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's really, really beautiful. Like when Shanna lived there and it snowed, we would go like sledding.
Yeah, down. There's like a huge hill, and you can like go sledding down. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Those were super good. You guys killed that. Amazing. And thank you so much for coming on. I've loved this whole conversation. You've shared so much about your relationship and just traveling together. So thank you for your vulnerability and your honesty with being so open and sharing. So thank you again. Is there anything that you would like to leave the listeners with before we say goodbye?
I mean, thank you so much for having us on. I feel like you asked like really amazing questions because we do interviews like a lot, and you ask so many different questions than most people do. So I feel like props to you. You're a great host.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I guess, yeah, I mean, I think we talked a little bit about on here about us being content creators, but if you want to follow us, we're at 27 Travels on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. 27travels.com is our travel blog.
Like you name it. You
can find us at 27 Travels, the number 27 Travels.
They're everywhere.
And that's where you can find all of our amazing pictures, videos, travel tips, you name it. Stuff about our relationship, more in-depth things about our relationship that we didn't talk about on here.
Basically whatever you want.
It's all out there. It's all out there.
It's all there.
Well, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was my conversation with Gabi and Shanna. I hope you enjoyed it and took something away from this conversation to take with you on your travels, with your partner, with your friend, with whoever it is that you're traveling with. For me, I think my biggest takeaway from this conversation was that you don't have to be the perfect travel couple, quote unquote. And I don't know if there is a perfect travel couple. You know, it's more about you just being able to learn how to move through the world together. I think we see so many perfect Instagrammable couples doing it, making their way around the world, but they're still dealing with stress. They're still dealing with new situations. They're still dealing with language barriers, and that can make it challenging. And it's more just figuring out how to navigate those challenges together. My partner and I recently took a trip to Thailand and Vietnam together, and it was our first big trip together. We were traveling for a month. We were so excited, and it was also really hard. I think harder than we were expecting it to be. We learned a lot about meeting each other's needs while traveling, how to communicate, navigate stress. And I think it allowed us to get to know and understand each other more deeply by the end of our trip, and honestly opened up room and space for bigger conversations about those challenges and how we want to navigate them together. And I think it really, like I said, deepened our relationship. And it also helped me realize that it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, and that is okay. We're human and things come up. So I hope you took something away from this conversation. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I'll see you in the next episode.
This podcast has been brought to you by ZeroToTravel.com. Ideas and advice to make your travel dreams a reality.